Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program, and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching. And hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel. As you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day. How goes the family? How goes it? Hopefully you guys are having a great evening. Um, Hopefully you guys have done a great 3 free things like share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Another great night. I'm going to get a little deep here tonight in regards to not only just Nipsey Hussle, but another LA icon that some people love to love and some people love to hate, a good old Tariq Nasheed and whatnot. But before I go forward tonight, it's all about Nipsey Hussle. It's all about the great things that he's done. It's all about the great things that he wanted to do, unfortunately, before he was killed by the coward. So let's get into how his marathon still continues and how people like him allows my marathon to continue, and hopefully your marathon continuously continues, because it's not just about him, it's about everyone else, and it's about how we can give back to the community from a mentorship perspective, from a from a mentorship perspective, from an economic perspective, from all levels, helping other people's children, helping other people out. Might not always have to be about money. It could just be about, hey, I need access to certain information. Could you help me do X, Y, Z? Help me put a resume together. Help me put a business plan together. All these various different things count. All right. And I'm going to talk about the 8 different ways has grown over the years that he's been killed, because it's been over 2 years now. Because unfortunately on March 19th, 2019, he was killed right in front of his store, unfortunately. And but his story is to live on. And like I said, I'm going to talk about 8 things, ways how his memory still lives on and how he's still giving back. Number one, we'll start with the Neighborhood NIP Foundation, which was created back in 2019. The Neighborhood NIP Foundation serves as the incubator for aspiring musicians and music industry professionals. According to the LA Times, Atlantic Records donated 6 figures to get the initiative off the ground, and nonprofit currently enjoys support from other major partners as well. And that's what it's all about. If you want to make things happen, you got to have some sort of partnership. No one can be an island to themselves, even if they wanted to. Nipsey Hussle was very adamant about being purposeful and intentional and giving back and doing that right where he came from, which was stated from a music executive, Steve O. Carless, one of the Nipsey Hussle's partners in the Marathon Agency marketing and management film. Um, and that's one reason why Nipsey Hussle was respected in so many different ways, because yeah, he was balling out of control. He was doing a lot of great things, but he was very smart. He was very strategic. He was playing chess, not checkers, and he gave back to his community, and that's what made him, in a sense, of profit in a way, because he gave back to his communities from hand ups and handout perspectives. He created jobs in his community, and he actually was buying up real estate in his community. He was putting his money where his mouth was. He was doing more things than a politician was doing. Okay. He was actually putting action to words and whatnot. So there was action first, and then there was words later and whatnot. Then he would talk about certain things first, but there was always action behind his words. That's why we say right now, who you spend your money with, who you bank with, holds way more power than who you vote for. And that's just how I look at it. Forget all that other nonsense. It's what you own, it's what you control, it's what you contribute to on a regular basis. Spending power means nothing if it's not being spent in your community. Banking means nothing if it's not in your community. Creating a business means nothing if it's not in your community. And that's one thing I can give a lot of respect to Nipsey Hussle. The 2019 BET Humanitarian Awards, article stated that a few people outside of hip hop knew that the extent to which Nipsey Hussle gave back to the community. But according to the Hollywood Reporter, BET was well aware of it, and it's why the actually awarded him the humanitarian award back in 2019. I remember that they not him, but the song "Last Time That I Checked," him and the rapper YG and whatnot, it was actually performed right after he passed away, unfortunately, and it was at LA Live where his actual funeral was at, and it was an amazing thing, and he's still missed to this day. An article stated, as a prolific artist and leader, Nipsey Hussle was zealous about driving change for the betterment of his community, empowering and employing those in need, and being an influential and highly respected leader. And I have to respect that, because I remember one day there was a homeless guy who was trying to make money off of cleaning people's windshields and whatnot. And Nipsey's like, "Get in the car, man." He took the guy to a barbershop, got him a nice haircut, made sure we got clean and whatnot, gave him some money to do some work actually around his shop to clean up the garbage and whatnot that people, littered around the area and whatnot. And that's, like I said, that was just amazing. Just the little things, because he didn't even give the guy a hand out. He gave him a hand up. And that's those little things like that really matter the most. And like I said, in today's day and era, we even back then before the pandemic and whatnot, it just means a lot, you know. Article also states the congressional record, perhaps in response to the BET announcement, Democratic Representative Karen Bass took to the floor of Congress to make sure all her colleagues knew that exactly Nipsey Hussle did for the community. And according to ABC News, the Congresswoman made sure that the congressional record reflected that the racks and the middle rappers' contributions accordingly. Imagine the day we all look back on history and read Bass's words: "Madam Speaker, I rise today on the floor of the House of Representatives to formally recognize in honor of the legacy of Hermes Ashigdon. I know I'm butchering his last name, his real last name, because I know his father was a veteran, so pardon me. Known to his community and to the neighborhoods of South Los Angeles and beyond as Nipsey Hussle and whatnot. Now, it's symbolic. It's a great thing. You should look it up on YouTube, her speech and things of that nature. But um, the world shook when he was killed, and it was just insane. All right, I'm going to keep going here. The Marathon Book Club. Nipsey Hussle loved to read after he passed. Vibe magazine reports that the Marathon Book Club popped up all over the United States of America. Some book clubs featured books that the rapper himself looked to read, while others featured books that were inspired by his life. And speaking of which, his book just came out and will be the next one on my list. So you know me, I'm avid book reader. So of course, I don't just talk about it, I do it. And the marathon don't stop. The Life and Times of Nipsey Hussle by Rob Kerner. And like I said, this is why the marathon will continue regardless of the situation. You know, I get choked up talking about it because Nipsey Hussle was just more than an icon. That's all I got to say. All right. Puma X, the marathon clothing. Just weeks before he passed, Nipsey Hussle signed a joint deal with between the marathon clothing brand and Puma Apparel. I remember this. After his passing, the clothing company released the line, but announced that 100% of the proceeds would go to the Neighborhood Knit Foundation, which is a beautiful thing, giving back to the community, and that's all that matters. Aramis Nipsey Hussle at Segdon Square. After a change.org petition garnered millions of signatures, Los Angeles City Councilman Marquise Harris Dawson announced that the intersection of Crenshaw Boulevard and West Slauson Avenue in South LA will be named after slain rapper Nipsey Hussle, which was reported by Fox 5 LA. And of course, they show a picture of the Nipsey Tower. And before I go forward, if you did not recognize, I've been to the Nipsey Tower, and I will take myself out so you guys can take a look at it. So I'll be back in 1 second. And when you go there, it's very, very somber, every single time. The last time I went there, actually, they blocked that specific area off. I don't know why in particular, but you can only really look at the murals that are away from the Marathon clothing store. But I will give credit to a lot of the African Americans within the community of Crenshaw and Slauson, or just South LA in general, how they're setting up a lot. Because when I went there this last time, a lot of people setting up their own vendor booths. People got their own food carts, things of that nature. They're, and they're trying to continue with the legacy of Black business. And at the end of the day, that's what matters the most. Okay, they're trying to keep the legacy of Black business, and at the end of the day, that's what matters the most. Seeing all those Black-owned vendors, from food to clothing to all this sort of apparel and whatnot, and that's what matters the most. Because, like I said, who you do business with, your insurance company, your banking, your real estate, all these things, the businesses you own, these things matter the most in 2021 going into 2022. There's not many more ways I could say that. I feel like I say it every week, but I don't care because that's what matters the most. All right. But anyways, the article states Nipsey Hussle was a proponent of affordable housing and knew that housing insecurity was one of his neighborhood's biggest plagues, and it continues to be that way to this day. That's why I implore anybody who owns real estate in Los Angeles, especially if you're African American descent, hold on to it. Even if you don't want to stay in California, hold on to it, rent it out, because you will not be able to find anything else. Heck, it's like that all over the country right now. You won't be able to find anything reasonable, but you darn sure not going to be able to find it in Los Angeles. So that's all I'm going to say. You're sitting on a gold mine, keep it. Nipsey Hussle said it. I'm saying it. Keep it. Okay. According to the Billboard, construction began on Nipsey Hussle Tower shortly after his passing. The tower, which is located not far from where he was slain, will provide affordable housing to low-income families. Well, I hope the city puts the money where the mouth is. That's all I can say. Like, politicians love to talk. STEM programs in inner cities. Back in 2018, Afrotech reported that Nipsey Hussle was one of the biggest disruptors in the music industry because of his contributions to STEM programs in inner cities. And I love that because one thing is, a lot of people said that like the last couple of years of before Nipsey passed away, it was hard to get him into the studio to really make music like that because he wasn't really focused on the music. He was focused on so many other things. I made a video last year or beginning of this year about how he went to Europe to create his own, to invest in his own crypto brand and whatnot. He was thinking about the future. He could see life was so much bigger than hip hop music. He loved hip hop music. It's what helped him make his money the way he wanted to, but he saw the world was so much bigger than that, and he was a true entrepreneur and a true pillar of the community. Okay, like I said, the things that he contributed to the community is 10 times better than most freaking career politicians in the United States of America from any party in any state, any legislature. Just saying it how I see it. Anyways, article stated the too big to fail will be a STEM center and maker space for youth in Los Angeles Crenshaw neighborhood. They stated at the time the rapper plans to launch the academy with his business partner and real estate developer Dave Gross. The 32-year-old said that he hopes the space can be a bridge between Silicon Valley and the inner city. And I remember him making that statement because the biggest problem is a lot of inner city schools are not teaching a lot of these children how to compete in today's job market, and definitely not even how to compete in tomorrow's job market, or even how to invest money or how to open a business or anything of that nature. A lot of the school systems, unfortunately, are very obsolete. They do a great job of teaching people how to memorize information. Half of it sometimes is useless. They do a great job of teaching people how to read and write. They do a great job of teaching people how to do math and whatnot, and even certain aspects of science. But they do, unfortunately, to really compete in today's world, it's so beyond the classroom. It really is. It truly, really is. And I'm not making I'm not making snares at teachers because I have nothing but respect for teachers. But I will say that unfortunately, when it comes to the schooling system as a whole, I think I'm going to do a live session about public education and just get my perspective on it. A lot of it is like obsolete. It's just what it is. And I'm not going to say that going like a lot of this big thing people say don't go to college. I say don't go to college if you don't want to be a doctor, information technology specialist, lawyer, scientist, or engineer. If you want to be a tradesperson or if you just want to get a skill set, then college might not be for you. But it's your decision at the end of the day because it's your life. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, I shared the screen because I want to show the first interview I ever saw with Nipsey. I really do. I really want to show the first interview that I saw with Nipsey, and it blew my mind at the end of the day. That's just how I gotta put it. So let's check it out. Let me see. No, let me do it like this. And double check to make sure everything is squared away. But if you're watching, definitely do the great three free things, family. Like, share, and subscribe. It would greatly be appreciated. And let me make sure that everything is in order as far as how I want to view everything before I play this video. Come on, technology, stop messing with me. Like I said, do it in a New York minute. It's always when I'm live. All right, let's do this. There we go. All right. So let's play this. There we go. Cool. Just want to make sure.
Look, what's your name, man? You new and upcoming, but you're at this summit. What's your name? Where you from?
My name Nipsey Hussle. I'm from LA, Slauson and Crenshaw area. You know.
Okay, well, Nipsey Hussle, that's named after Nipsey Russell, the
Correct.
comedian.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
So talk a little bit about yourself, man. What brings you up here, up and coming, and how come you're not blinging and having all kind of crazy diamonds and all that? I guess you here to get your money right, huh?
All the time. I mean, all that is cool for the image and all that, but all them is liabilities. You feel me? I'd rather invest in some real estate. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wait, can you repeat that again, man? You're up and coming artist. What did you say you want to do?
I say invest in some assets as opposed to trick off my money on some liabilities like diamonds. You know what I'm saying? Cars that lose value, so you drive them off the lot.
So you're trying to get land.
Exactly, homie. A real asset. Take care of my people, because it look good, but at the end of the day, you losing value, homie. It ain't appreciating. It's depreciating. It's losing value.
What do you think?
Ladies and gentlemen, at that moment, I knew at that moment, I knew Nipsey Hussle was not only a writer, but I knew he was all about his business. He was not playing around. He wasn't just he wasn't clout chasing. He wasn't just trying to get attention or whatnot for the sake of getting attention or whatnot, like a little boy. He was displaying, and he was 10 times younger at the time because he died young. Oh, he was killed young, but he was displaying manhood at the time. I think at that time he might have been 19 or 20 years old, 21 at the most. But my man was displaying manhood and what it means to be an adult and what it means to be about your business and to be an entrepreneur. He wasn't displaying let me sound like an ignorant fool, even though I'm from the hood. I can still sound and try to talk intelligent or whatnot, like I read a book every now and then. He displayed that, hey, I'm about, not only am I about my business, but I'm about taking care of my people too. It's not just about me. Okay. I might be the brand and whatnot, but it's way bigger. I love this relationship with his older brother and whatnot. And how they were about, it was a family affair. They made the business a family affair. His dad, I remember a person was talking about how his dad was so proud of both of them, seeing his young boys, because his dad came from Eritrea, which is right next to Ethiopia, East Africa, came from Eritrea to Los Angeles, married a great woman, their mother, who's African-American descent. I believe she's from, her family's from Louisiana, like a lot of Black folks that live in California, usually from Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, or Oklahoma. But yeah, I just love the fact that it was a family affair. He was about handling his business, making sure his family wasn't getting put on, making sure that the people that was around him was getting put on and getting gamed up, not just to be in a position to just have a job, but be in a position to be able to make power economic moves and whatnot. That's why I wanted to, when I saw the 8 things that are continuously being done with his legacy, I had to talk about it, because that means, to me, that means the world to me, one. And then two, if you had 100 more people thinking like him on the West Coast, 100 more people thinking like him on the East Coast, 100 more people thinking like him down South, 100 more people thinking like him in the Midwest. Heck, 100 more people, 1,000 more people thinking like him around the world. You would see a different result, regardless of who's in office, because there would be action behind the money, and there would be action behind the words, and then there'd be collaboration over separation. That's what matters the most. And that's why I had to put that in there. All right. And before I end this off, I wanted to talk about Tariq Nasheed. Love him or hate him, I got a lot of love for Tariq Nasheed. And I love the things that he's trying to do right now. If you haven't checked out the Hidden Colors series, if you haven't checked out Buck Breaking and all that, great stuff. Very interesting stuff, very entertaining stuff. About African culture and things of that nature. Nothing wrong with learning about culture. But his new endeavor is he wants to create a hidden history museum in Los Angeles, in the Crenshaw area. Once again, more about economic empowerment, less about lip service, less about being a blithering idiot, sounding like you got a 3rd grade education, less political nonsense, business, which matters, ownership, which matters, and that's what I really want to hit the nail on the head on that one. So let me bring this video up, and I'll give my perspective on it, and then I will call it a night, because at the end of the day, these are the things that matter, and this is what's going to be able to move people forward. Because like I said earlier, said it before, say it till the day I die, who you do business with, who you bank with, who you spend your money with, holds way more power than who you vote for. That's just, I'm just going to keep saying that until the day I die, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. So let's get this going, and we will go from there. We will call it a night. All right.
Family, this is Tariq Nasheed. I am your greetings, family. This is Tariq Nasheed. I am your community servant. Right now, I am in South Los Angeles on the world famous Crenshaw Boulevard. And with your help, we want to build the first ever hidden history museum right here in the Leimert Park area of Los Angeles, which is the cultural epicenter of Black Los Angeles. Right here on Crenshaw Boulevard, right here, there's an empty lot for sale, and it's in the perfect location for our hidden history museum. We want to acquire this lot so that we can build your community museum. There's museums that touch on Black history, but they don't get too deep into it. This will be the first grassroots owned and controlled Black history museum in the world. In our museum, we want to touch on a lot of things that are not touched on in other museums. There's such vast history of Black people here in Los Angeles that we're going to touch on alone. For example, Pio Pico, who was the once governor of California. There's a street, Pico Boulevard, named after him. He had Black ancestry. Francisco Reyes, who was the first mayor of Los Angeles, he had Black ancestry. The grandmother of Los Angeles, Biddy Mason, who was a former slave who became the wealthiest woman in California. We're going to talk about a lot of this stuff in the museum. Also in the museum, we're going to have 5 basic sections. We're going to have a master teacher section where we talk about the teachings of John Henry Clark, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Amos Wilson. We're going to have another section for Black inventors. We're going to talk about the Black people who invented things like the modern refrigeration system, the modern toilet system, the modern home security system, and so much more. We're also going to have a section talking about Black explorers. We're going to talk about people like Estevanico the Moor, who was very instrumental in discovering a lot of spaces here in the North American continent. Speaking of Moors, we're going to talk about the Black Moors who conquered Southern Europe. The Black Moors are never talked about in museums. This is going to be the first time it's talked about in our museum. We're also going to have a section talking about Black rebel leaders, like the Black Seminoles, like other Black Maroons. We're also going to have a section talking about the real history of Black music, particularly the foundation of Black American history of hip hop. I produced a lot of best-selling documentary films, including the Hidden Color series. So a lot of things that's in our documentary films are going to be featured in the museum. And speaking of the films, we're going to have a screening room upstairs in the museum where we can screen our films on a regular basis. We're also going to have large meeting rooms where we can have conferences and community events for the people. Not only will this museum be a great cultural institution, this museum is going to be a great tourist attraction that will help revitalize a lot of the Black businesses that are already here. But family, we need your help. We need at least $7 million to get this project completed. And we're going to start doing everything in stages. We need at least $1 million in the first phase to get the museum project off the ground so that we can acquire the land. Everybody who contributes to the museum, we're going to have a wall in the museum with the names of all the donors. So your name is going to be built into the foundation of the museum. So we need you to get involved. There's going to be a lot of other perks as well. So everybody get involved. Let's make history. Let's take control of our own community and our own history. Get involved with the Hidden History Museum right now.
Now, family, I shared that because one, I contributed to the crowdfunding campaign. It actually ended yesterday, and Tariq Nasheed was very successful in this first round. So I can, give him congrats. Hat goes off to him, and the reason why I point this out is because there's moments that I will point out my success, but I love to point out other people's success as well. That's why this year I need to get back into interviewing more people that are successful in what they're doing now and what they want to do in the future. But I love the like that kind of stuff piques my interest to see somebody in a century that's been gentrifying for I think a decade now and whatnot, of working people out of LA. It's not just a Black thing, but and remember, there's no hate against anyone just because you have pride in your culture and things of that nature. I'm not hating on anyone. I got love for everybody at the end of the day. But I just love to see ownership. I love to see people trying to do things. And it's not even just the history aspect that intrigues me, but it's the fact that it would be a place to help revitalize local businesses. The one thing I can say I love about that community in South LA and communities like that across the United States of America, that's what makes a city a city. That's what makes a community is small businesses. And that's, especially from the restaurant perspective, shopping perspective, just going into a chain, like most chain restaurants suck, you know what I mean? And most chain restaurants aren't the biggest backbone of a community like a small business is, you know what I mean? And the foundation of things like that, it's one thing gentrification has taught people, especially African Americans in particular, is that if you don't own, you have the opportunity of being pushed out of a place. It's just what it is. Okay. If you're not if money isn't considered the first language, not even a second language, but if money's not even a language in your vocabulary that you talk about it from a perspective of economics, then you're going to lose, regardless of who's in office, from the White House to the State House to the mayor's house. That's all irrelevant. Okay, it's been proven in every state because it's happened on the East Coast and West Coast, and I've already talked about this. Now it's happening in the South, Miami, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston. Houston's next. Okay, New Orleans. So I just mentioned major cities in the South. Now, if you want to go live in the South and live in a very small town, then the chances of gentrification happening is very less likely. But if you like living in a metropolitan area where the job market is very nice, then you got to be about your money. You got to be about your business. The days of being ratchet and ghetto are over with in the major cities. The beautiful city in my background is Los Angeles and whatnot, one of the most beautiful cities in the country, in the world, and whatnot. But if you're not about your business, then you either going to be pushed out or you're going to be contributing to the homeless population, unfortunately, because that's one of the biggest problems that they have in the whole state of California to begin with. But I just wanted to point out something positive. I just wanted to point out some great things that are actually happening. And I just love the fact that not only Nipsey Hussle's story continues, but you have a Tariq Nasheed that's trying to even build a stronger foundation in the city of Los Angeles. Him and Nipsey Hussle were like this, and that's why I wanted to bring both of those things into the equation all at the same time, because this is what matters right now. And one thing I can say about my grandparents' generation, I'm a millennial. My grandparents' generation, they said the one thing that they noticed a change with the other generations is, and a lot of reasons why certain people don't even want to go to certain churches, not church in general, but certain churches anymore. It's because a lot of the churches are not speaking to what's the needs of what's happening in the community. Economics. Why? Because when the light bill is due, when the rent is due, and the mortgage is due, we're coming to a point now where it's like, okay, well, if it's not paid, you're getting shut off. I'm just saying, all right? So, family, do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully, you guys have a great evening. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this. If there's another campaign, I might share it next time. But I just wanted to show you where my mind was at in regards to Nipsey Hussle, and show you where my mind is at in regards to Tariq Nasheed. He's doing great things. Nipsey Hussle is doing great things, and his better half, Lauren, is making sure that his legacy continues through his children, etc., and so forth. And it matters who you're around, people. It matters not only what you consume, what you read, but who you engage with on a regular basis. And you got to be about handling your business. That's all I can say, family. All right, you got to be about handling your business. And as I always say, make money moves, or you're gonna live broke like a fool. The choice is yours, family. So see what you want to do. All right, I'm out.